Hello, welcome back to Wicked Works. We're back on Gus today, Oscar the bus. Whatever the bus's name is, we're working on it again today. We're doing the brakes, all right? So let's just do the thing. Roll the thing. Very cold. I don't like being cold. We're gonna start up here on the driver's front wheel. Oh, we're missing all kinds of stuff. Missing some studs here. I need more turtles than that. There we go. I'm assuming because of these here that there's a hub in this, so we'll see. I'm going to pull that off in a second here. There's a couple of retaining screws, Allen's it looks like. These rotors, I mean, listen, they're not good, but they're not pitted. You know, those should come back after a couple of panic stops. I think he has rotors, or I think he has a rotor. So let me see if I can get this off, and we'll figure that out in a second here. Oh, these are like brand new. This is just surface rust. I think we'll probably just put these back on, panic stop it a few times. Those will clean up fine. All right, I'm gonna call O'Reilly's and see if I can get some studs here. I've got to take these bolts out of here, the caliper mounting bolts, and then I'll run a tap through here and make sure those are nice and clean. These lines have been disconnected. Thankfully, this looks... I should be able to free that up with some heat, and I think the threads will be okay. But I want to disconnect all this, and because this has been left off for so long, I'm not convinced that this hose is any good anymore. So I'll take all this apart. I'm going to replace the front hoses and blow through these and make sure the hard lines are good and have good flow, and then put it all back together. So I'll have to do the same thing up there as well. What did I get for parts for this? I've got 2 new calipers loaded, by the way. I didn't realize that those came with bolts, so that's good. I have new switches in here, hoses, rear wheel cylinders, and a master, at least to start. We'll see how the back shoes look. I'm hoping that we can get away without having to do any of that stuff. We're kind of just doing essentials at the moment to make sure everything works, and we'll kind of go from there. So, yeah, let me call O'Reilly's about them studs. And I'll start pulling all this apart and do the other side, and when we start putting something back together, I'll get you in here. All right, I was not able to find studs locally anyway. They're available online, so I'm going to order those tonight, but I want to keep moving with this because it'd be nice to make some progress after struggling so hard to get it in here without brakes. So I've got, what did I do? I pulled all the, well, not everything, but I pulled the rubber line off. I pulled the hard line that goes from said rubber line to the caliper. Took a couple of the inside lines off and blew air through everything. It seems clear, so now we can start putting this all back together. So with this installed, you're going to take the little rubber cap out of here. Okay. Lose that somewhere, and I believe I'm looking for this angle here, maybe. So I'm going to screw this into the caliper first, just kind of get it started a little bit. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for the front. I'm going to do the other side, just do that quick, and then we can get started on the rear. And then after we do the rear, we'll tackle the master cylinder and the switches and all that. So let me do the opposite front side, and then I'll bring you back in when we get started on the rear. So I've got the front passenger side all back together. And I wasn't going to film anymore today. I was just going to do this and then film the other side, but I noticed that there's not a lot of engagement on this nut on this side, and compared to the other side, that's weird. So I'm pretty sure that when I take that nut off, this hub should come off as well. So I'm gonna try to pull this apart a little bit and see what's going on. You need a 36 mil socket for this. I'm pretty sure those are only available in 3/4 inch or half. Yeah. So you need an adapter or not. Yeah, that was barely on. Wow. Should just come off. Ooh. Okay, let me pull the other side apart and see what's going on over there. Just so that I have something to compare against, because obviously the driver's side is correct and this is not. All right, so driver's side, passenger side. These are identical. However, it would appear that this shaft is 1/4 inch shorter than this one. So I think I'm gonna stop here for today so that I can go inside and get warm, and I'm not using that as an excuse, I totally am. I think I'm gonna stop here today so I can do some research and see if the length of these axles changed at all. If I have to, it's not a huge deal to pull the axle off and, you know, hammer this out of here and just compare them on the bench to be sure. I guess it's possible that the passenger side is maybe not seated all the way. I don't know. But I'm going to do some research and see what's going on. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have some more information for you. Or we'll be pulling those axles out to figure out what the hell's going on. All right, good morning. It's another day. I did some research last night on bay window stub axles. And it does appear that they did change lengths. The weird thing is that it's actually the earlier axles, 68 to 70, that are longer than 71 to 79. So I originally decided that I wasn't going to pull any of this apart anyway because I don't want to have to pull it apart a second time when all the parts get here and I want to make the brakes work. So while I was kind of, you know, getting my bearings again this morning and I crawled underneath, I could visibly see the difference in the gap between the back of the stub shaft and the trailing arm between this side and the other. So I'm thinking that this stub axle just isn't seated all the way. So I'm going to go through doing the brakes and then get the hub back on and see if I can't just put the nut on and suck that right back in, and maybe that'll solve the problem. So we'll see. The shafts are kind of sort of readily available if not. So so first things first, this morning I have 2 rubber lines to do in the rear and to hook up the wheel cylinders that are in there. The wheel cylinders that are in there actually look pretty new. They've just been left open, and what I mean by that is the brake lines were not run to them. So I'm worried that the seals and everything inside, corrosion, drying the seals out, yada yada, so who knows if they'll actually work. But I'll take my chances, I guess, because it's easy enough to pull everything apart. So I'm just going to hook those lines up to the wheel cylinders, replace those rubber lines, and then we can get started on doing the master cylinder and the switches. And we're going to try to get this axle to succulate in here a little bit. I think what I'm going to do first, though, is try to clean these threads up and put some schmoo, well, not schmoo, you know what I mean, but, you know, some penetrant or something to get these to roll a little bit smoother. Threads already look, honestly, kind of gacked anyway, so we'll see what happens. Get a little sauce on here. There we go. Okay. All right, and we need the nut. The threads in there look pretty good. Make it roll smooth, you know. I'm hoping if I just crank hell out of it, it'll go. I feel like maybe I should have something to stop this from turning. I guess we can use that. Which way is this going to go? It's going to go that way, okay. So what are we doing for Turkles 3? Yep, okay, that worked. Cool. All right, well, now I'm glad I don't have to only call that out of there. All right, let me get the drum back on this side and the other side, and then we can try to bleed the system. Anyway, I've got all the lines replaced, all the rubber lines anyway. I've got all the hard lines all tightened up, everything's hooked up. I got the rear drums back together. We're going to try the master cylinder that's in there just to see what happens. So I've gone around and cracked all the bleeders. I'm going to just add fluid and see if stuff starts coming out of the wheels, and maybe I get a pedal that way. And then, you know, once I have a little bit of a pedal, we can try to bleed it maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of trying new stuff to see what works, I guess. So let me add some fluid, and when we start pumpulating, I'll get you back in here. I've made my job significantly more difficult and annoying. Let me show you why. Started having a little bit of a leak that I was fighting off the wheel there, so I've still got to fix that and put everything back in place. But then I noticed that my master cylinder's leaking, which makes sense given all the whatnot that's going on up here. All that kind of rotting off. So definitely going to have to replace the master. Unfortunately, that means if the master's leaking into the booster, that the booster's also probably bad. And I did not get one of those. Pulling this off now that the system is full of fluid is going to be very messy and annoying. Get that out of there. Do my best not to get fluid down my arms here. It's going down my arms now. I can't hold on to the wrench! Thumb's cramping up. Good Lord, how long are these threads? Oh, come on, yes. Good Lord. Oh, I hate brake fluid so much. All right, I'm gonna get all this crap off my hands and stop filming, and then struggle to get that reservoir out of there. All right, so here's the new master. I'm gonna try to. I got the old reservoir off and have that drained as best I can. I'm gonna get some gloves on and try to push the reservoir into this and get this mounted up, and then we can start attaching the lines and hope for the best. All right, I've got at least the reservoir filled up. I'm going to see if I can get some fluid moving back here with my power bleeder that never seems to work. All right, I'm going to check on the reservoir just to see if it's gone down filling the system at all. So I think what I might try to do, if I can get this, I think I may try to charge the brake pedal and then hold it with a hood prop, and then I will go and open that rear one and see if I get a little puff out of it. So alright, that should stay. Let me see if I can get any air to puff out of that. Well, that was just a canister, so what do we get out of this guy? Oh, I got a little fluid out of that. Okay, that's good. All right, let me try that. Let me see how this method works out and doing all the wheels this way. See if we can't get a pedal. All right, so after fighting several leaks and having to reblade the system many times, got a very good pedal. I did not use my my auto bleeder there, I actually used a hood prop. This is one of them adjustable ones. And this is nice because I can pump this a whole bunch and then adjust this to where I need it, put it on the pedal and jam it against the seat, and then go check for leaks and bleed one wheel at a time. The other nice thing about doing that is I can visibly see when the pedal is getting higher, because at some point this won't fit in the area that I was using it before. And it's holding it real good. I'm interested to see if it's just as good when I'm running the engine, because then the booster's going to kick in, and I wonder how good it'll stop. So now that we're at this point, let me top off the master cylinder, get the wheels back on. I'm not going to drive it around the block because I'm still missing the lug studs on this wheel, and I'd like to get some cotter pins in the axle nuts in the rear. But at a minimum, we can move it back and forth in the shop, assuming I can get it running. It took me three batteries and some starter juice to get it started yesterday when I moved it in here. So let me do some cleaning here, get some kitty litter on the floor, and then we can try to see how good the brakes are. All right, let's see what happened here. The e-brake's holding, which is nice. Did I leave? Nope, I gotta hook the battery up. Making a big old vacuum leak. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's also just the carburetor being trash. Okay, so clutch in, give her a couple of pumps, key on, crank. Come on. Everything's great. Everything's going great. All right. I think it wants a little less timing. Back you off a little bit. All right, now will you start on regular battery juices? All right, well, it started, and I felt the pedal sink a little bit. I'm going to shut it off, okay, and remove my jump box, and we'll see if we can get this thing to move. All right, park and brake off. Reverse. Oh, the... Brakes feel pretty good. All right. All right, well, brakes work now. Obviously, the engine still needs some tuning, but the brakes felt really, really good. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to reach out to the owner now so that he can start thinking about how he wants to handle the tires, because I can't drive this until we get tires and a couple of other stupid little things like plates. And luckily, he was able to get this registered, so that's good. We're getting closer to trying to get this on the road now. So the next step is obviously trying to figure out whatever's going on. Not trying to figure out, I know what's going on. Replacing those front wheel studs. Tune the engine up, make sure that it's actually going to start every time, which means it's probably going to need a battery. Tires, make all the lights work and whatnot, and then we can try to take it down the road. So that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. It helps when you share with your friends because the more subscribers and the more views I get means the more stupid shit I get to bring you. And I really want to be able to do that. So share away. You can follow me on Instagram at WickedWorks. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Now I have to open the door and get all of this smoke out of here because my eyeballs are burning.